welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how to paint flowers loosely. I've squeezed out some colours. If you want more details about that, I'll describe them in detail at the end of the video. For now, I want to get started. And I'm going to spray generously over the whole thing. And the little bits of paper are going to keep lovely white shapes for me. There's a little bit of blue that accidentally fell there, but it does not matter at all. Okay, this is some cobalt, and I'm just going to begin splattering. Oh, it's a little bit lumpy. I want it a little bit runnier, so that I'll just get another brush. It's a bit better with two brushes, and I get all this lovely colour. But because I sprayed, it's going to disperse in such a pretty way. And then some orange. I love the orange and blue, they're complementary and they set each other off. I'm going to be more generous with the orange, and it doesn't really matter what colours you use. If you're like me and you love a limited palette, pick 3 colours. Though, to be honest, I leave colours on my palette and they seep in as well. So there's a bit of red that is just coming into these without me making any effort. And I get all this beautiful colour happening. Alright, get rid of that one and have a little look. How am I enjoying that? Do I need to spritz a little further? I think if I paint around my shapes, there's a good chance that it will go under, so I'm going to be quite careful about that. Because I don't want it to go under the paper. So this is quite a greyish mix, so that my shapes pop. I'm going to switch colours to this orange and put orange on the top of them. Maybe some orange marks to just kind of reduce the amount of splatter. Some lovely and I liked the idea that the orange is intensified. And there I've got a really quick background in. Now there's a pooling here, so I'm just going to see whether or not if I tip my board, because I don't really want it to go under the paper, but I do want to get rid of the excess. I don't love tissuing off excess. Got plenty of orange. I really want to intensify my purples now. So what I'm going to do is enhance these little flower shapes, and do that by coming in with some gentle negative painting. Just gently come in on that one. Sometimes the petals touch, and to those I'm going to just gently soften with little wispy bits. And I'm going to gently move around. So that one was the orange. Now I'm going to mix a bit of the red in. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There'll be a petal shape over there, so I'm going to make that the center and go out. And I'm going to drop in orange over there. I don't want it the same as that one. Drop in orange there too. Go back to this little tiny brush and soften a little bit there and there. Just little tiny gentle softening. Maybe. Okay, next one is this beautiful flower here, which is on its side. So I'm going to start in a similar way That's my turquoise. So again, I'm going to do one petal at a time. So soften some of these edges and completely soften that edge. Just like that, isn't it? And then there'll be orange in there. Just leave that to go. Though, having put in that orange center, that's quite lovely. I wonder if I might put in some center here while it's lovely and wet. The first thing I'll do is create a little base shape, a little bud-like, not bud, but you know, the little bottom. Is it called the calyx? That bottom part of the flower. Anyway, doesn't matter. My scratching out worked beautifully. I'm just going to reinforce it. I'll reinforce that one to make the scratching out there. And now I want to soften. Just going to soften that edge, bring that up a touch, and that soften. And with this black, I'm going to say there's a flower there with an edge. Use the center. Get my little liner brush and use that to create a petal there, petal, and a petal. Touch of orange in. And again, wet the edges of these petals and create soft shapes. That needs to be wet a little more, so sometimes you need to scrub it. Soften that edge completely. And then it just needs a little more interest over here. And I'm close to done. I'm quite loving these lovely dark marks. And there's a huge amount of orange. There's not a lot of turquoise, so I'm going to go in with the turquoise. And there's a beautiful shape that's a little bit like a flower there. So I wonder if I capture a suggestion of some petals, if I might make that work as a look like a flower. I just need water to do this. Soften, soften, soften. That's some just absolute suggestion of a flower there. And the center can be this beautiful dark. And then it just needs a little bit over here as well. So I'm really repeating those sort of marks, and because it's in this damp state, it might look like a flower. This is my wet brush, so I'm just going to soften them. Maybe, you know, very vaguely suggest a flower. Just a bit more suggestion of a flower there. Right, that's better. And I think that one, the area over there, is quite nice and abstract. Can't really see the edge of this, so I think I might come in and just define that a touch more. And then pick up that beautiful lush dark. That's a bit better. And I might redefine this edge here and there, and darken a little more in that centre, and darken that centre. This is just... Please give me a thumbs up if you got anything out of the video. Colour off my palette. Oh, I quite like that reddish colour over there. It's a bit of alizarin from the painting before. It just was on my palette. Loving that. Little bit of colour over there. And now I've got the suggestion of 5 flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe there are other abstract flowers in the background. And it is so easy at this point to think that you'll keep going, but it is better at this point to stop. This is Baohong paper. So the colours I'm going to be using are Senneliers Chinese Orange, Daniel Smith Cobalt Teal Blue, Lunar Blue by Daniel Smith, and this is Holbein's Cobalt Blue, a really beautiful gentle blue. So it's going to be a lot of orange. I've also got on my palette some pinks and reds, and I'm going to leave them on there, so I don't mind that they mix in. So really I'm going to be mixing in a little bit of alizarin just without particularly trying to make that happen. So what I'm going to do is mix up some lovely wet paint on my palette. I'm going to mix a little bit of this turquoise. It's mixing a beautiful grey with the red that's on my palette. I'm not going to put the Lunar Blue until the end. It's pretty much a black, so I'm not going to be worried about that. I'm going to grab a whole bunch of the orange that I mixed up, and it's mixing with that red there, so that's not a problem. And then I want some of this beautiful blue. Move that brush over there and grab a stack of the cobalt blue. And again, it's mixing with the alizarin, so the alizarin actually is becoming more important. Alright, they're the colours that I'm going to be using.